Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I want to talk to you about the Hedonic Treadmill and why I am consciously making a move to step off it. Now, I've touched on the hedonic or the hedonist treadmill before, and the concept of happiness and how that plays out in many people's lives, and it's one that I wanted to make a further video on because so many again, I've done a few videos on this sort of subject about social media and happiness, and if you've not seen it, I'll put the link up here. But ultimately, the concept that we live in a world right now where more and more people are depressed, and we live in a world where, for the most people, it's never been a more affluent time to live. We live in the most wealthy society that we've had access to. So those two things shouldn't really correlate. Happiness, many people attribute to having nice things and new things and all that sort of stuff, and that is this hedonic treadmill, and something which I've been reading about and thinking about for the past few sort of months. And I've realised that I once used to be so much on that treadmill, and ultimately the things that I was reading just made perfect sense, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, is how we can consciously make a decision to get off that or out of the cycle and ultimately be happier because of it. So again, young entrepreneurs, all we again, I don't want to drag Instagram into this, but we see the posts, we see the expectations that all entrepreneurs drive fast cars, wear nice watches, and go to nice holidays and all the rest of it, and it leads to that we assume that is the baseline. That is the line that we're all aiming for, is to be able to have the nice car, the nice watches, and go to nice places and live that luxurious lifestyle. Anything less than 6-star hotels just won't do. And by setting that as the baseline, anything under that is deemed as not good enough or a failure, or which ultimately leads to unhappiness. And it's that baseline of happiness which I think is the problem. And that's why I've been there. It's hard for me because I love cars. I've always loved cars since a young age. So having nice cars is something which I enjoy, because I appreciate the craftsmanship and the mechanical engineering and the computing that now goes into cars, and it isn't just to impress people, to look good. It isn't just a vanity project. But that's the thing, is like I've had nice-ish cars, I've had nice expensive watches, and it doesn't bring you happiness. It brings you short-term happiness. Like when you go and pick up that new car that you've been looking at and thinking about, and then you finally go and buy it, or that watch that you tell yourself that you can now afford, and it gives you a pat on the back because you've done well, and you're very happy for a short period of time. It might be 2 weeks, maybe even less. But then that becomes your new baseline. That's your new normal. And that is unsustainable. It's like, how far do you go? And this was actually put really well in an interview I saw the other day, where the example he used was, imagine that you're 18 years old and you get given your first car, and your first car is a Ferrari. Call it Ferrari 360, whatever, and you, at that point, you're at a 10. You're at the 10 of happiness. But that, after like 2 weeks, a month, that car is normal. That is like your everyday driver. That becomes your normal baseline. Then when you get to 21, someone offers you an M5, or you get given an M5, but they take the Ferrari away. You're now probably, and the M5 is a great car, but because you were previously up here at a Ferrari, the M5 might now bring your happiness down to a 7. You actually might feel like you've gone backwards, and you might not be as happy as you once were. because you feel like you've gone backwards. But if we flip that, or we take that same example, but now we take another person in the exact same situation, but when they were 18 they got given a Ford Focus, and then at the 21 they get given an M5. They were at a 10 when they got the Ford Focus, and now they're at 10 again because they got an M5. You see, the situation is exactly the same. The only difference is the perception of happiness in relation to what it is they've got and where they've been previously. And you see, like, that is the difference. And it's like you're constantly, once you get to a point, you move the goalposts and you want something else. And that is true in business for sure. Like, I don't think in business I'll ever reach my goal of what it is I want to achieve. I'll always keep moving, but I think in business that's necessary. In business as an entrepreneur, you love the journey. You want to try and create something. You want to try and build something and leave almost a legacy of some sort behind. However, when you are buying things and material possessions, or like watches, you might, tags and Rolexes, Omegas, Breitlings, they're a nice level to be at. But once you get there, what's next? Do you now want Hublot? Do you want, Patek Philippe, Frank Muller, Audemars? There's levels to everything, and you will always keep striving. And there's people. I mean, there's homeless people who are just, they're happy. They're at a 10 when they get enough money to stay at a hostel for the night, and you take for granted that you live in a house or an apartment, and And that is the thing, is like, I think over the past few months I've been consciously thinking about this and making a conscious effort to step off of this hedonist treadmill and stop trying to find happiness through material things, because ultimately I don't think you can buy it. You can't buy happiness through having things because it's so short-lived. Instead, I think I truly find happiness from being able to experience things, I would say. I think back to, when I went and lived in LA for 3 months. I was so happy for the whole 3 months I was there, because I felt like I was experiencing something new each day. I went to San Diego, San Francisco, Vegas, Yosemite, Malibu, Santa Monica. I traveled around the whole of California, and for me it was like I was experiencing and meeting new people and learning new things, and I was much happier. That happiness that I experienced doing that lasted so much longer. And even now, I think back to my time then, it still makes me happy now thinking that I got time to experience that. But the happiness that I've gained from those experiences has lasted so much longer than any material possession that I've owned or do own. And I think that's something which we can all learn from. I think, you need to... I think a sad fact is that the majority of people spend 80% of their time doing things that they don't like, and in order to bring back that happiness, they spend the 20% trying to buy things to fill that happiness bar. And then, it's taken me a few years to realise that I actually really enjoy what I do. I get, the things that I enjoy which make me happy is helping people and helping other people through the businesses that I'm able to create. And sure, the money is a byproduct of that, but ultimately the more people that I can feel like I've helped, the more entrepreneurs who businesses that I've helped grow and succeed, the better. And with the software products, if I can make someone's life easier through software, even better. With the news site, if I can bring people unbiased, relevant news to them quickly that can help them make decisions in their business, great. I'm helping people. I think that's something which, again, it's taken me a long time to realise. Growing up through my early 20s, I wanted the fast cars, the nice watches, the fancy clothes, the brand names, and I don't want it anymore, really. Other than the car, like I said, I've got a weakness for cars, but I think that's always going to be. I guess everybody needs a thing, right? But But yeah, and that's this. This was a subject I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. Is this? Can you relate to what I'm saying? Have you been, that perhaps overly materialistic person and chasing happiness through things when ultimately that's not? It's not sustainable. It's not true happiness, I would say. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and let me know again, do you think I'm mental? Do you think I'm right? I'm open to all opinions on this. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and yeah, here's to trying to lead a much more minimalist life in terms of things, because I don't think it's necessary. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you, as always, in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching.